The standoff burned with silence. Then, in a sudden blaze of courage, Amina stepped forward. You want a son to inherit? Then take me instead. Kill me if you must, but the boy will never be yours. Balogun's eyes narrowed. You think your sacrifice changes anything? This child carries Oba's blood. That is all I need. Oba's men burst into the room, guns blazing. Chaos erupted. Oba shoved Amina and the boy behind him, fighting with the strength of a desperate father. Men fell one by one. The golden room turned red with battle. At last, Oba cornered Balogun. The old man raised a pistol, but Oba was faster, knocking it away and slamming him against the wall. Why, Balogun? Oba roared. Why betray me after all these years? Balogun sneered, blood trickling from his mouth. Because power is not given, Oba, it is taken. And I will take it, even if it costs me my last breath. Before Oba could strike, Balogun pressed a hidden switch on the wall. Explosives hidden in the mansion ticked to life. The building shook violently. Oba grabbed his son, screaming, "Run!" Amina's voice echoed in terror. The whole house is rigged. As the ceiling began to collapse, Oba realized Balogun would rather burn everything than lose, and the boy's life now hung by a single thread. The golden room trembled violently. Walls cracked. Flames licked the curtains. The ceiling sagged with smoke and dust. Oba clutched his son, his muscles screaming. "Amina, move!" he bellowed. They sprinted down the corridor as chandeliers shattered behind them. Oba's men fired desperately, buying seconds as the inferno spread. Balogun's laughter echoed behind them. "You will never escape me, Oba," Oba snarled over his shoulder. "You'll die with your greed." As they raced toward the grand staircase, boom! The explosion ripped through the mansion. Fire roared, glass shattered, the ground buckled. Oba threw himself over Amina and their son as debris rained down. His ears rang, his body burned, but they were alive, barely. Smoke swallowed the air. Oba staggered to his feet, carrying his son. Amina clung to his arm, coughing violently. Behind them, Balogun emerged from the flames, his agbada scorched, face twisted with fury. But he was not alone. A figure stepped out of the smoke beside him. A young man in his 20s, sharp-eyed, arrogant. Balogun grinned. "Meet Adekunle, my blood." My true heir. Oba's chest clenched. The twist was clear. Balogun's secret son, hidden all these years, ready to inherit everything. Adekunle smirked. "Father, let me finish them." Balogun handed him a gun. "End Oba. End his legacy." Oba shielded his boy, heart pounding. This was the child Balogun spoke of, the rival son meant to rule beside his own. But the boy in Oba's arms whispered weakly, "Papa, I know something." Oba looked down. "What is it, my son?" The boy's eyes, filled with tears, whispered a truth that cut like a knife. "Mama told me. Chief Balogun is also my grandfather." Oba froze. Amina's face crumbled. Balogun's laughter split the air like thunder. "Yes, Oba. The woman you loved was once promised to my bloodline. That boy carries my blood. He was always destined to be mine." Oba's roar shook the burning hall. "No, he is mine, and mine alone." The mansion groaned under the weight of fire, but in that moment it became an arena. Balogun and Adekunle raised their guns. Oba stood his ground, shielding Amina and the boy. "Run," he whispered to her. "No," Amina cried. "We finish this together." The duel erupted. Bullets tore through pillars. Flames leapt higher. Oba's men fell one by one until only smoke and silence remained. At last Adekunle lunged at Oba, knife flashing. Oba caught his arm mid-swing, muscles straining. "You fight like a boy," Oba growled, "but I fight for blood." With a brutal twist, he disarmed Adekunle and hurled him aside. Balogun charged, striking Oba across the jaw, years of betrayal boiling into one final clash. The two men, once mentor and protege, fought hand to hand, each blow thunderous, fueled by rage, history, and pride. At last, Oba slammed Balogun to the floor, pinning him beneath the weight of justice. "Your reign ends tonight," Oba spat. Balogun coughed, blood on his lips, eyes blazing with madness. "You think killing me frees you? I live in your bloodline now, through that boy." Oba raised his fist for the final strike, but Amina's hand stopped him. "No, Oba. Do not stain yourself with his blood. Let him die by the fire he created." And so Oba stood, pulling Amina and their son close. They turned their backs on Balogun. The flames roared louder, swallowing the mansion. Balogun tried to rise, screaming, "I am the Lion of Lagos. I cannot fall." But the roof gave way, and Chief Balogun, king of greed, was buried under the ashes of his own empire. Poetic justice. They stumbled out into the night as the mansion collapsed in a storm of fire and smoke. Oba's men who survived carried each other, battered but alive. Amina wept into Oba's chest, clutching their son like treasure. The boy's voice was soft but steady. "Papa, will we be safe now?" Oba kissed his forehead. "Yes, my son." Because family is stronger than fear, the sun rose over Lagos, painting the sky with hope. For the first time in years, Oba felt peace. And as the crowd gathered, whispering of Balogun's fall, Oba remembered the second proverb his grandmother taught him. "The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth," meaning neglect breeds destruction. Balogun's greed had burned his own empire, but Oba chose differently. He would embrace his son, his love, and rebuild not with fear, but with unity. Moral of the story: greed builds empires that crumble. Love builds legacies that last forever. If you enjoyed this African drama full of twists, betrayal, and poetic justice, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales. Your support keeps the fire of storytelling alive.